Halo 3 ODST is our next game from Bungie. It comes out this fall, and it's essentially a side story to the Halo trilogy. It takes place in between the events of Halo 2 and Halo 3. Biggest change now is you're not Master Chief, you're actually a whole new hero. You're an orbital drop shock trooper, and you and your squad mates are dropped into the city of New Mombasa after the Covenant have already arrived. And over the course of the game, your mission is to try to piece together clues about where your squad mates have ended up, what's happening in the city, and hopefully try and turn the tide of the battle against the Covenant. Today we're showing off our new cooperative gameplay mode. It's called Firefight. It's for up to 4 players over Xbox Live or System Link. Really, it kind of boils down the essence of the Halo gameplay experience. It's you and your buddies diving right into combat, and the goal is to try and outlast and survive and rack up high scores, achievements, and bragging rights. A couple cool twists about this, though, is that we have the skulls that are back from Halo 3. These are gameplay modifiers that, as you get further along in Firefight, they'll turn on automatically. So it'll activate, change the way the game is being played. Things like catch that makes enemies throw grenades like crazy. There's ones that'll double the health of the enemies. There's ones that make the enemies immune to bullets. So the further you get in Firefight, the more skulls you have to deal with and sort of react accordingly. It's a true cooperative game mode, so you have a shared pool of lives. So you and your teammates have 7 lives to get through 5 waves. It really pays to work together. If you happen to get through 5 waves, you'll get new lives replenished back to you. And all the enemies you fight along the way are pretty much random, so you never know what you're going to get. The exception being at the 5th wave, all the time you're going to get a couple of the big brute chieftain guys to come in, and if you can happen to beat them, the game will reward you with some extra points, more ammo, more lives. A new skull turns on, and you keep going again. So there's really no end to Firefight. ODST has a couple different takes on the game series compared to prior games. The first change, obviously, like I mentioned, is the fact that you're not a Master Chief, you're not a super soldier in ODST. There's a couple nuances that this presents to the players. You can't dual wield, you run a little bit slower, you jump a little bit lower, and you don't have a recharging shield anymore. So what that means in gameplay is you have to be a little bit more methodical in how you engage enemies, because you can't just charge in and know you're going to win. You have to kind of back off and pick and choose your battles. Your base health in ODST does not recharge, so there are more conventional means, like these health kiosks around. The game's going to play similar to Halo Combat Evolved in that way, where you have a sort of a loose amount of health. You can take some damage, your screen turns red, but eventually it starts to chip away at your base stamina, and at that point the only way to regain it back is to find a health kiosk. There's 2 new weapons available as well for ODSTs. They have a sound-suppressed SMG, and a new sounds pistol, which is kind of a throwback to the Halo 1 pistol. Super fun to use. One of the other big changes to the gameplay, though, is the narrative structure. So it's no longer a big linear sort of space opera like the prior Halo games. This is a more open-ended game. There's a primary sort of overworld, a hub, if you will. That's the city of New Mombasa. It's a big, sprawling, wide-open environment. And you'll progress around the city at your own pace. You'll find these clues in any order you want. And then each clue will actually trigger a flashback sequence that allows you to play out a Halo action mission from the perspective of one of your squad mates. There's really 2 sides to the game. You're by yourself at night in the city as the rookie, trying to find clues, trying to avoid Covenant patrols. But then when you find a clue, you'll flashback, play through some more high-octane, typical Halo gameplay, blow up a bunch of Covenant, and then you'll flash back to the rookie again. You'll kind of do this back and forth until the timelines converge and the game will play out at that point. There's also a whole second disc included in the box. It's the Halo 3 Complete Multiplayer Collection. It's got 24 total maps, 3 of which are brand new, not available anywhere else. That's a standalone disc, so all the maps we released on Xbox Live over the past 2 years will be available. One little convenient disc. And also, holding on to your ODST disc guarantees you'll be able to access the Halo Reach multiplayer beta whenever that goes live. ODST is in stores on September 22nd.